Tonight, Interior Minister clashes with the NDC National Chairman as he fights allegations he tried to bribe NDC MPs with slots in the security services.
The Interior Minister himself now went to Parliament to try to, if you like, bribe our MPs. That look, bring 2 from your constituency and let's add them so that you allow me to do it. And they have rejected it flatly.
If a member of parliament has got a constituent of his or hers who indeed in 2021-22 applied but has not been considered, the idea is that, okay, let them put it through, but not to do protocol and to bribe them. When you say bribe, it's a very strong statement to you. Let me say categorically that I did not bribe any member of parliament.
We have details as the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice continues its probe into the matter. Well, Top Star, as always, is brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies and the holy insecticide spray and coil. Enjoy a holy sleep. Interior Minister Henry Korte has tonight clashed with NDC National Chairman as he fights allegations he tried to bribe NDC MPs with slots in the security services. National Chairman of the Opposition National Democratic Congress has alleged the minister tried to bribe NDC MPs following concerns raised by the group. The minority of petitions try to investigate what they say is the clandestine attempt by the government to recruit its party foot soldiers into the security services. As Yedun Ketia claims, the minister offered the NDC MPs a chance to bring 2 persons each to be recruited in a bid to get them to drop the opposition.
So now they have the list of 10,000 people that have been shortlisted. It is on the desk of the Interior Minister. And he's trying to find a way of making sure that these people get recruited into the security services. Our MPs challenge them. Look, at some point, the Interior Minister himself now went to Parliament to try to, if you like, bribe our
Now.
MPs. That look, bring 2 from your constituency and let's add them so that you allow me to do it. And they have rejected it flatly.
He did this openly? Or
he did this to our MPs in Parliament. So I went there, they told me, and I said, don't give 1 person to them, because you add 1 person and they recruit 10,000.
You described it as a bribe. Was this something that he said on the floor, or was meeting privately?
He called them privately and offered
made the offer to
the leadership. And we said that they shouldn't. And any NDC person who fall for that, you make sure that you have challenges in your constituency. Because what is wrong is wrong. If there is opportunity for recruitment into the security services, let it go through proper procedure, so that everybody, the purpose of democracy is that every citizen must have equality of opportunities. So if there are opportunities for recruitment, let it go through the proper procedure, and let every Ghanaian who qualifies get the same opportunity to be recruited. We are all for it, because it constitutes job for the youth and other things. We are not against it. But to classify MPP people are the only youth in the country who deserve to be recruited in the security services. And you've written letters to your parliamentary candidates to select a certain number of party people and submit to Interior Minister for recruitment. It will not happen. I mean, and that is why that matter has been, there's a petition at Shrag. And in spite of the petition, they are now going ahead to advertise and pretend that they are doing the right thing, and then come and use the same names.
Yeah, you categorically said they are party foot soldiers,
yes,
but there isn't any evidence that they 10,000.
There are letters. There are letters that have been written to party candidates. And you know what is interesting is that even the MPs in the MPP who lost their primaries, they are not being asked to bring the names. They have written the letter to the new candidates to bring names. So,
I mean, last week we spoke to one of the candidates on this, David Zopoku, to be very specific, when this matter came out. He categorically denied he's an incumbent member of Parliament, that he'd been giving any allocation.
We have published at least some of the letters, and we have attached all this thing to Shraj. You understand? So there is no denial of that fact at all. And we are saying that if they believe in rule of law, they better withdraw those adverts and wait for Siraj to do a determination.
You make an allegation about the Interior Minister meeting your own MPs.
Yes.
When did this happen?
Oh, it happened, I think I met our MPs before I traveled, but it happened before then. And I heard about it.
So this would have happened before Parliament went on recess?
Yeah, sure.
So this must be in the last month or two?
Yes. He was trying to bait them that, look, if you accept 2, bring 2, then we add to the list, then we can push this in. And we say, no way. Go and advertise the thing properly. And let every Ghanaian get the opportunity to be recruited.
But in an interview with Joy News, Henry Korte denied the claims. He explained, however, that in a meeting held behind closed doors with all MPs, he encouraged members of Parliament to get their constituent who had applied in 2021 and 2022 to go through the process, insisting that it was not an attempt to bribe them.
We had series of meetings when the opposition raised this matter up. They sent it to Shraj. Personally, as I speak, I've not had any petition. I've not seen any petition. I only saw it in the media space. Shirag has not written to me. But because I'm a member of Parliament, we engage leadership series several times. And so when I appeared before the Committee for Defense and Interior, is a select committee that has oversight over Minister of the Interior, Defense, and National Security. So there it was agreed that we should advertise, but we shouldn't sell forms. And so we agreed, and then subsequently, because I am not in charge of recruiting, Interior does not recruit, we gave directives for the security intelligence agencies to do so. There was a question that came up we said that per the advertisement, those people who bought forms in 2021, they have got their tracking numbers and all that, but for some reason have not been able to be attended to, can apply, or rather indicate, and the security agencies have given out an email address or something where people have done so. As at 3 days ago, information available to me is that a total of about 90,000 people have gone online to fill that, or rather, because they are not buying the forms. I'm trying to look for the suitable word to use. But the long and short is that they've gone online to indicate. I think immigration is around some 24,000, fire is about 20, a total of about 90,000. So clearly, first of all, this issue of there's no backlog, what the agencies are doing clearly shows that indeed there's backlog over 100,000 in this country. My position is that if we have all these people, over 100,000, who have applied since 2021, and they have not been able to be attended to, why do you go and sell forms again? So we've complied to that. Now, members of Parliament, you have to go through this process by ensuring that your people actually have their tracking numbers and everything as citizens of this country, not necessarily as politicians. So if a member of Parliament has got a constituent of his or hers who indeed in 2021-22 applied but has not been considered, the idea is that, okay, let them put it through, but not to do protocol and to bribe them. When you say bribe, it's a very strong statement to use, my brother. Now I'm saying that I find it interesting that the national chairman can use the word bribe. How do you bribe a member of Parliament? We are members of Parliament, we criticize constructively, and we ensure that we shape things for legislature, So how do you bribe a member of parliament of yours?
Okay.
Of course, MPs have got constituents who may have also bought forms. Is it wrong in saying that, if they have forms, they should go through the same process?
Okay.
Is it wrong? I'm not saying that, bring me 5 so I can put you in there. So this statement, first of all, let me say categorically that I did not bribe any member of parliament.
Well, at what point in time did you go to these members of parliament to say, well, if you have constituents, bring them, let's recruit them?
No, when you say let's recruit men, that's what I'm saying. When you have constituents who have also got the forms online,
I get
the
it.
eligibility criteria,
yes,
you can let them go through. That's a different thing than bring them for me to recruit.
Okay.
So let me say that we have not, or I have not asked them to bring and to bribe them. I think I want to be very clear on that one.
Okay.
I have not bribed any member of parliament by offering them tutu and all that. It is not the case.
So when you went to them, that if they have constituents who bought the forms, they could go through, what exactly were you trying to do to help them out?
So we are floating it to Ghanaians, or just like their constituents. There are people who have bought forms, indeed they are tracking numbers and they are online. They should also apply. That is what it is. I have made that statement, but I did not say that I'm bribing them. I want to be very clear on that one. Yes, I'm not bribing them.
Yeah,
because it was in a closed sitting. It was in a closed sitting for members of parliament. It was not like going to them one by one to say, bring me, let me do it, or bring me, let me do it for you. No, that is not the position.
Okay. Now, so I was trying to find out from you, at what point in time did you go to them about, if they have constituent, they can also, and they bought forms?
I think after we had agreed on the roadmap that we were going to advertise for every Ghanaian citizen to also be given the equal opportunity. That was when I said, we are advertising. So advise your constituents, if they also fill the forms and all that, do it, and then let's see how the process goes. That is the position. And again, I've read online that he said I have a list of 10,000 people on my table. I think that is a big lie for him to say. That is a serious statement for him to make. I don't know why we are making all these issues because of elections. I'm surprised. How can you say I have 10,000 list on my table? Why? You see, he's an elderly person, he's a senior politician. I don't want to go on the banter with him. But I want to say that I am so disappointed, very, very disappointed that Asiedun Ketia, national chairman, can make this blatant statement live.
So that was the interaction with the Interior Minister Henry Kojo, joined on the line by Dr. Ishmael Norman, who is a security expert. Doc, grateful to you for joining. Now, what is the right procedure for recruiting people into the security services?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. My brother, the whole thing smells bad from the point of view of ethical professional recruitment. That you advertise in 2024 for people who applied and they have their tracking numbers 2021, 22 today. And now you're not even going to recruit any new people in 2024. The whole thing smells bad when he says, and I quote, Honorable Henry Kojo, for some reason, those people were not called or recruited. I mean, why? Why don't you know the reason? It opens the door for people to make all kinds of allegations and statements. I don't want to come between Honorable Johnson Asiedun Ketia or Honorable Kojo, because these two men are responsible Ghanaian men, and I admire both of them. However, there is something wrong, systematically wrong with the recruitment process. You advertise each year. Then the people apply. If they meet the minimum qualifications, they come for medical examination, and the ones that meet the height and medical examination, then you take them further through. Countries in Europe, in America, are suffering from insufficient recruitment. They can't recruit the number of people they want. If we are fortunate enough to have the mass, why are we making it so difficult for young men to achieve their dreams? So I don't buy it when the Honorable Minister of Interior says, for some reason, they were not called. He has to know the reason. For me, I would like to know the reason why they were not called. So for me, I think the whole system of recruitment of security into the security agencies is totally whack. There's something wrong, unethical about it. And that could probably lead to the situation where Honorable Johnson in Katia would say something like that. I believe that if he doesn't have the facts, he wouldn't say it. Since he said he spoke in front of a group of parliamentarians, those people are witnesses. So for me, these two gentlemen should retire into the back room, call those MPs that were around and sort this matter out so that it doesn't become rancorous and a national issue, because the country is on tenterhooks. We can't continue to throw little firewood into the fireplace. We can't afford it. We can't afford this kind of conflict.
Well, he explains that he only got to the MPs to say that if you have people who applied, alert them to go back and apply online so that they can be taken. Anything wrong with that if he wants the members of parliament to go back to their constituent and alert them to apply?
If this is what he meant, there is nothing wrong with it. But we are all aware of protocol placement in this country in every kind of job situation. Is that what he was referring to? You see, the issues are many. And they themselves, the politicians themselves, have created all the confusion surrounding something so simple, so linear, so straightforward. I don't trust that something went wrong, that's why those people were not called. I cannot believe until you call the witnesses and really diagnose the issue and let people say, confirm whether Honorable Johnson Ashedun Ketia is wrong or is lying, or Honorable Henry Kojo is lying. I will not believe one word. I won't take any position. I will be ambivalent about it until there's more evidence thrown into the pot, onto the table, for us to decide who is lying and who is not.
But does seeing the MPs to talk to you about allowing or letting their constituent to apply amount to, short-changing the process, which then we can ascribe to trying to bribe the members of parliament because they were opposed to the recruitment?
See, that he who feels it knows it. So if Honorable Ashedun Ketia feels it was kind of a bribe, then in his mind, in his opinion, it will be. If Honorable Henry Kojo doesn't think it was some kind of a bribe, but rather instigation to get them to present their people as if they need to do that, then it could be something else. The whole thing goes towards protocol placement. And that, for me, it is wrong when we talk about equal opportunity under our Constitution. They, the politicians, they don't observe this protocol, this provision in 1992 Constitution. And so they are always dancing circles when something like this breaks into the public domain and they want to cover it up. Can anyone say that there is no protocol placement in the security agencies, recruitment? No one can say that. There is always. So this is all part of the problem where the confusion is coming in. We do the right thing so that you won't have to defend anything, because truth stands by itself without any embellishment.
How must we cure this, challenge, such that when there is recruitment, no minister, no politician has to pass anywhere for anybody? It's open, fair playing ground. Any Ghanaian who is eligible can apply.
That is how it should be, but you think Ghanaians are, responsible and self-contained enough to be able to do that? The politicians wouldn't allow it to happen. They are the ones who are helping this country to fall into the doldrums. They are the ones that are creating all the conditions for self-destruction.
So, I mean, we have nothing we can do.
We have to have responsible leadership. They have to stop the protocol placement. I get angry whenever I hear about it. About 2 years ago, we heard people were being recruited into the security forces. And I even made statement to this effect when somebody confirmed to me that he was recruited even though there was no national recruitment into the police force. I was very angry in the Upper West region, and that they joined without even going for police academy training. So these kinds of things have been around, and a lot of people are very much aware that it is happening. But it is the politicians that are making it possible to happen. We have to stop that. They have to become more accountable to the public and stop this favoritism and partisanship. It's killing the country.
Now, there's a growing trend when you see members of parliament, bandy around pictures of people who have graduated from the police service, and they say that, well, it is through my instrumentation that I got person A, B, C, D into the police service. That must be a worrying trend.
That's a post-facto evidence that there was protocol placement, sweetheart deals. This is horrible. You don't create a universal system of recruitment with protocol recruitment on the side. Like I said, all the problems of this country can be traced back to individual politicians in positions of authority in this country.
Does this have any role to play in the kind of policing that we sometimes do see on the streets?
Certainly. In fact, it creates also disciplinary issues. When you go to any of the ministries, some bosses, directors cannot tell their juniors what to do because they were brought by the minister of this, minister of that, this and this. And so when you give order to them, they won't do it. And the same thing is happening in the police force. That creates tension so that whoever is a commanding officer, the CEO, basically doesn't have authority. So what does he do? He picks people that listen to him and work with them, and that leads to alienation and discrimination within the force. So again, all this, the etiology of this problem starts from the politicians. They need to clean their act up. The media people, go after the politicians for these shenanigans because they are killing the country.
Well, you're worried just as many of Ghanaians are. We need to ensure that the situation when a politician will influence a police to someone to get police posting and all of that has ended. But it looks like we just go back to the politicians as well to find the solution for us. Is there anybody that we can fall onto to say, let us find solutions to this aside the politicians?
Well, you see, in any society, politics leads, the law follows. So long as the politics is leading, the law is an ask. And so I don't care how many laws you create. If the leading politicians, if the political people leading the country are corrupt and have no ethics whatsoever, you can create so many laws, it will mean absolutely nothing. So politics leads, the law follows, and we need to hold our politicians accountable in everything that they do. And we should stop pampering them with titles. They don't deserve it. They are servants of the people, not lords of the people.
Well, must we throw our hands in the air, or there is hope for change?
We shouldn't throw our hands in the air, because if such is the case, then what is the point of even having this conversation right now? I think that we know where the problem is, and we should address the problem head on. And when we see something like this, we shouldn't try to cover up. But there are a lot of people who think only on partisan lines, only on emotional lines, not on rational basis. And so they don't see any problem, especially if they got into the police force, for example, or immigration or customs, due to partisan politics or special placement or protocol placement and so on and so forth. So they don't see anything wrong. until one day when they are looking for something and they can't get it, and then they get upset and they start casting aspersions on the politicians. We need to talk about these things. We need to expose the people that are doing it, and we can see a change. But the leadership must lead properly. And that starts with the presidency, that starts with the political parties. They have to stop. If you can't create jobs, by all means, you will resort to these kinds of shenanigans in order to show that somehow you are helping your constituency. If you cannot create manufacturing jobs, you cannot. This is why I like, without doing politics, Australia has 24-hour economy, and it helps that country. That is why I like the suggestion for the 24-hour economy, because it is a good thing. We should diagnose it properly and make sure it works.
The minister has confirmed he met the MPs. What should happen to him?
If the minister confirmed he met the MP, and the MPs confirmed that the minister said that, and the understanding of the appraisal of that is that the minister was attempting to bribe them, that should be made public, and the minister must resign.
From the interview he had, does it amount to bribery and that he should resign for that?
Until we get more facts onto the table, you cannot make that conclusion.
Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining. Dr. Ishmael Norman is a security expert. This has been Top Story. Up next is Newsnight.
Kind of way, tell you so, the more money promo now,
Everybody likes money, but what do we like more than money? More money! Join the Telecel More Money promo and win money, more money, and even more money. Simply opt in for free and reload your mobile and broadband and be the lucky winner of the 1 million Ghana cedis grand prize. Also win cash prizes of up to 3 million Ghana cedis in the daily and weekly draw. Opt in for free by dialing *500# or send WIN to 500, or you can opt in on the Telecel Play app. The more you reload, the higher chances of winning in the Telecel More Money promo. Keep loading, win, and be a millionaire.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me dana mada with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Dana kron kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
Hello, my name is Mami Akua, an entrepreneur and a mother of two. My work keeps me busy most of the time, and sometimes it takes me away from my family. But the safety and health of my family is very important to me. As a working mother, I cannot afford to take any chances when it comes to matters of health. That is why I signed up for a family healthcare plan from Equity Health Insurance. My family and I have access to over 700 hospitals, clinics, opticians, dentists, pharmacies, and diagnostic centers across the length and breadth of Ghana. With Equity Health Insurance, I no longer have to worry about medical bills. Anytime a member of my family visits a hospital, Equity Health Insurance has got my family and I covered. What about you? Who has got you covered?
Call Equity Health Insurance on 050-660-7910 and talk to them about your family health needs now. Visit equityhealthinsurance.com for more information. Equity Health Insurance, here for you.
Are you waking up with jaw pain and headaches? This is commonly caused by grinding your teeth at night. Hi, I'm Tanya from Bethel Dental Clinic, Ghana. This condition is known as bruxism or grinding. Oftentimes, people are unaware that they are doing so, but the side effects are visible and often heard by one's sleep partner. So if you're experiencing jaw pain, headache, sensitivity, and even fractured teeth, you may be a clincher or grinder. It can also wear down your teeth and affect your overall health. After a dental visit, a custom-made knife guard will be made for you. This occlusal guard is worn to protect your teeth while you sleep to prevent further damage and discomfort. So, Contact your dental office to learn more about protecting your teeth from clenching and grinding.
Health is mine.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Newsnight. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra. The bulletin is also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi and over 30 affiliates across the country and around the world at myjoyonline.com. Coming up,
the race against time to convince the NDC to sign a peace pact as the Peace Council initiates desperate moves to engage with the main opposition party after its national chairman declared they will never endorse a peace agreement ahead of the 2024 elections.
Let me say categorically that I did not bribe any member of us, or I have not asked them to bring. We've heard these concerns. Our doors are still open to talk and to find out how do we address these concerns that have been raised. They are legitimate, they have concerns.
We have the latest.
And also the NPP running mate Martio Poku Prempe is back on John Ramani Mahama's radar as the NDC flag bearer launches scathing attack on the Mensah South MP, describing him as arrogant and disrespecting of the late President Atamil.
And somehow he even forgot Professor Mills's name. And then he said, Bakuna Wewuno, that one who died. I mean, how can you talk like this? Very disrespectful, very insulting. Arrogance is like pregnancy. Whatever you do, it will come out.
Meanwhile, the governing NPP and opposition NDC lock horns at Joy News' Ghana Connect Town Hall meeting in Osu as they seek to convince the electorate about their programs and policies.
Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, who has demonstrated enough courage in this government to have championed the introduction of 36 policies.
Let us bring what we call women's ban. And this women's ban is not discriminatory, but they're supposed to cushion women.
Stay with us because we'll also hear from voters who have been questioning the policies of the political parties.
What plans do they have for elderly health? And tied to that is the LEAP project.
If you see the amount that is paid to the elderly or those who are disabled, it's minimal. On top of that too, it is being paid 2 months.
Plus, in the first episode of our Constituency Lens Election Headquarters series, we'll pitch camp in Ashaman constituency where it is a battle for the hearts and minds of constituents. We'll highlight the key issues and hear from the candidates.
And in business, enterprises want government to do more to sustain inflation rate decline to soon reach the single-digit target.
Sports FC Samate's confident of a good result in their tough CAF Champions League tie against Cameroonian champions Victoria United.
And much later, Public Accounts Committee calls for further investigation into how former employee of New Times Corporation forged receipts to embezzle over 100,000 cedis in 2 years.
She tore the receipts and kept them, and then some of the monies too were not banked, and even some of the whole receipts could also not be found.
Well, stay with us for the details of all these stories and more here on Newsnight. Tonight, it is now a desperate race against time to convince the NDC to sign a peace pact ahead of the December 7 general election. The Peace Council has tonight initiated urgent moves to engage with the main opposition party after its national chairman, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, declared they will never endorse any peace agreement ahead of the elections.
Well, Mr. Asiedu Nketia directly warned the National Peace Council and the Council of State that it will not be disturbed with calls to sign peace declarations, among others, if the early warning signs of electoral violence are not dealt with immediately. Listen to him speaking to me on PM Express last night.
The declaration don't mean anything to us.
A peace declaration?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean anything to you?
It doesn't mean anything to us because all previous declarations have not been adhered to, and those declarations have not solved any problem. If you allow violence to be brewed, you have violence, whether you sign declaration or not. And so that is why, for more than a year ago, I started talking about the need for us to remove the building blocks for violent elections. So at any stage, when something is happening, I call on those who in future will call us to sign declarations to speak up so that we stop this particular thing from happening. Otherwise, if you allow all those things to build up, and you say that, let us go and play peace football match, let us sign declaration, let us do this with the hope that we will get a peaceful election will not happen. Because we did all this in 2020. Council of State, Peace Council, everybody was involved, signing declarations left, right, center. The 2020 election turned out to be the most violent elections in the whole of the Fourth Republic.
Well, Evans, the National Peace Council has been responding to the NDC. It says it will continue to engage directly with the NDC to resolve their concerns. Chairman of the National Peace Council, Reverend Ernest Edujemfi, says the NDC's decision not to sign any peace declaration will also not necessarily lead to violence.
In the first place, I wouldn't say that just saying that they will not sign the peace pact is a seed for violence. I think these are the initial concerns. And for us as a council, as a body that does negotiation and mediation, we've heard these concerns. Our doors are still open to talk and to find out how do we address these concerns that are being raised. They are legitimate, they have concerns. We have set up a medium by which we meet with the parties to discuss issues, to determine what is the best way forward. And so if the NDC has concerns, we want to hear them. We set up a meeting with them to listen to what their concerns are. And we'll see how we can go forward with that.
Fostina, let's get more on this. Let's bring in George Amo, he's Executive Secretary of the National Peace Council. Also joining us is Reverend Father Michael Kweku. He's a Director of Governance, Justice and Peace at the Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference, and you may have heard there that Jonas Student Ketia directly mentions the Catholic Bishops Conference too. Ms. Amo, thanks for your time here on Newsnight. So we've heard the NDC's position on this particular matter. I'm curious, in your interactions with the other political parties, are you getting traction? Are they buying into the need to sit down and sign a pact?
Yeah, thank you very much, Evans, and greetings to Father. And all those who are listening to your big medium, Joy FM. Yes, but I have listened to the chairman, my uncle, Johnson Asibin Katia. I didn't hear him say that the NDC was not going to sign the peace pact.
Well, I did that interview yesterday, and he was very categorical on the show.
Did he say that NDC is not going to sign?
Yes, he says that's not something that they will do because of the many concerns that he laid bare, including the fact that the Peace Council itself, you failed to speak on a host of issues, including recruitment into the security services, he says, have been politicized, including victimization of their members through the courts, and that until you do these, they will not sign.
Yes, I will. I have heard concerns, and like the chairman indicated, already we have taken steps after the 2020 elections in various areas to ensure we create the necessary environment for discourse or a dialogue to take place so that we are able to address differences that exist, either in the parties or inter-party, issues. But this is a position that the NDC has expressed. I think it is not out of order. Those of us in the field of peace and conflict, etc. It's a position. I think you rightly said it. We have to engage. And like the chairman said, the doors are open. We have established a political party, a platform, since the last elections, the areas where the deaths occurred, the unfortunate incident, violence occurred in the 2020 elections, I can tell you, Evans, the National Peace Council has been to these places. 5 constituencies I can easily remember: Sablugu, Odududio, Uchu Senya, Techiman. The Peace Council has been in these areas not less than 2 occasions. We cannot use the kinetic. We cannot use guns. We use dialogue. We use mediation. We use our good offices, and that we have done, and we continue to do that. Even today, we've set up a code of conduct committee. Today, the committee met. It is composed of people from NDC, MPP, our minor political parties were represented. Other civil society groups were there, and we are trying. We are doing all that we can. And my uncle, as said in Katian, knows very well that we mean very well. And so it's a position they've espoused. We would continue to engage, and that we would pursue with all the energies within us to ensure that we get this election right. We cannot miss it. So I would want to assure the NDC, the chairman has said, I'm adding to that we will continue to engage. The issues the chairman has raised are legitimate. We can't brush them away.
Do you then accept on that? Once you say it's legitimate, and I heard the chairman also make the same point, he cites issues that are quite live even today, including the recruitment into the security services. We've heard the Interior Minister actually also respond to that. He says, for example, that the National Peace Council, you've been quiet on that. He says the Catholic Bishops' Conference, you haven't spoken to those concerns. Again, you haven't spoken to the issues when they believe their members are being victimized, either by the security services or through the courts. And that is where the trust is lost. Do you accept that criticism, that it's time for you to be more vocal on these issues when indeed it transpires in the media space or actually happens?
Evans, I think let's look at the outcomes of the efforts we do. The method may not be palatable, maybe not be suitable to all the sides. But you see, if I speak to Evans on an issue that is in the public, and I achieve the results I need, I think that is good. If I come public and I achieve the same result, it's good. But if, per our assessment, using the closed door engagement, it will be more useful, more enduring. Why not? So we have done, I think Uncle Asidin Kata would agree that we have done a lot behind the scenes to ensure we get all the parties, to agree on some difficult, thorny issues.
Specifically, though, on this subject of the alleged partisan recruitment into the security services, have you engaged on it?
You see, we have
Your
engaged,
call has been put on hold. Please wait.
We've engaged the IGP. We've engaged the CDS, both the current and the previous IGPs and the CDS. We've engaged them. The chairman would tell you. We've engaged them. So there are so many things that we would not want to come public. But you see, we have a mandate. The mandate ends somewhere, and somebody continues. That is the arrangement we have given to ourselves as a people. The Peace Council has a mandate to facilitate and develop mechanisms for conflict prevention, management, and resolution. We cannot go beyond that. So when we for example, come to Joy, we want you to publish this for us. You agree, or you express concerns. We cannot go beyond that and come on your studio and say, do this for us because we want that done. You see, so that we should also agree that we have our limitations as institutions. We have a mandate that we have been given as institutions to implement, to enhance our democracy. I think for us, as a Peace Council, we will not claim to be perfect, not at all. But I think that over the period, we have done the little we can to contribute to the peace and democracy of our country.
Also with me, Reverend Father Michael Kweku. Reverend, you've heard the National Chairman's concerns there. He also mentions the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference. Do you accept that his concerns are legitimate too?
Well, good evening, Evans, and good evening to all your listeners. Well, every concern going into this election is worth listening to and paying attention and doing all we can to address them for the good of our people and for the peace of our nation. So why not? It is good to hear what the General has articulated as the concerns of the opposition NDC. So yes, the bishops have heard, they have listened. In fact, the General himself will acknowledge that the bishops engage all political parties, especially the main players in this political drama.
Well, it seemed to suggest that it's not the engagement that they want now. They want you to be publicly vocal, condemning what they believe to be injustice across the board when indeed it happens to opposition parties, including them, and that you've been too silent on that. And that you can't turn around when it's now degenerating into possible violence, then to call them to come and sit around the table to sign a peace pact.
Well, I think that as my brother has already said, when issues come up, we try every means possible to be able to engage those who are involved. Well, when issues like this happen, the bishops consult. They speak to all the stakeholders and to see which means under the circumstances are useful and helpful for resolving the matter. Well, the General has said that in some cases he expects a public addressing of the issue. We can't fault him for that, but we also think that we must employ all the arsenals in our quiver to solve a problem. So we don't think that it only and always has to be what somebody might wish. So if we feel that a public addressing of the issue is the most useful at the time, we will. If we feel that other means might be more effective, we shall employ that as well. But it doesn't mean that because something hasn't been heard publicly that the bishops are silent, because we don't have any interest in anything apart from the peace and the justice that must prevail in our country. So we don't have any interest in being quiet over it. In fact, we engage it as actively as we can, but it depends on which media, which mode we employ at whatever time that we think that will yield the most effective result.
I mean, George, let me bring you in here. What about the other political parties? Are they willing to sign, the MPP and the others?
Yes, as far as I can remember, Evans, even the NDC, until I heard this late news, I have been convinced that the NDC would have no hesitation at all coming on board to get this mechanism also done, as part of building a stronger democracy for ourselves and for our children. So the other political parties, as far as I know, I think MPP has not shown any indications that they are not going to sign. Even NDC, like I've said, just some 2 or so days ago, we are in touch with the leadership, not only the chair, but others, and the indication has been positive.
And very recently, as last weekend, we heard from Brian Champon, the Agriculture Minister, who was on a campaign platform saying that they will win elections, in essence, through fair or foul means, any means possible. Have you publicly condemned this statement?
Yes. You see, Evans, we've indicated here that there are ways that we would have to evaluate.
But George, I mean, if the person said it publicly, And what he said, there's consensus that it is very inflammatory. It is inciting violence. You're saying that instead of calling him out publicly and condemning him publicly, you want to call him to say, tone down?
No, I haven't said that.
So what is the approach then on this particular matter?
I remember the first publication that came that was attributed to him. We did a fact check with the Media Foundation for West Africa, and the fact check did not prove the thing that we heard that was in the public. I mean, you can cross-check with the Media Foundation for West Africa. You see, so
and this latest one,
we have to take our time.
No, and this latest pronunciation,
we have to take our time to listen. This what do you call it? The soundbite from the chairman that you played. I took time to listen to it a couple of times because I asked Joy, one of your colleagues, to send it to me. And personally, I didn't hear him say exactly that being categorical that we are not going to sign. So it is important we do analysis, content analysis, when issues like this come to our attention, so that we, as mediators, particularly mediators, it would be very unfortunate on our part to proceed to make some comments in the public when we don't have all the facts available to us. And it takes time, my brother, to get to understand the context and everything that happens. So I'm not saying that the Peace Council will not speak to issues like this in the public, but let us look at what will best serve our country and keep the cohesion that we have.
George Amu, thank you very much. Reverend Father Michael Kweku, too, the Director of Governance, Justice and Peace, Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference, also speaking to us on this particular subject. So we've heard from the NDC National Chairman making the point about what their position is on these peace pacts going into the elections. What about the governing New Patriotic Party? Thankfully, we can speak now to Henry Nanabuacheze, MPP National Organizer, joins us on the line right now. Thank you very much, Nana, for your time here on Newsnight. Will the NPP sign a peace pact?
Hello, Evans. Good evening.
Great to have you.
Oh, thank you very much. I think that, Evans, we have shown pleasant commitment over the years. In 2008, if you recall, we were part of the peace declaration in Kumasi. In 2012, we were also part of the peace accord in Kumasi. In 2016, we were also part of the peace pact in Accra. In 2020, we were also part of the presidential elections peace pact in Accra as well. And we exhibited pleasant commitment in all of these occasions. It's unfortunate the NDC is saying that they will not sign, frankly speaking. And I think that all of us must condemn this reckless statement, this violent stoking statement from the national chairman.
What is violence talking about? That they have real concerns. In fact, the Peace Council and the Catholic Bishops
Evans, this is something.
Concerns are legitimate.
Evans, this is something even your media establishment should not even condone at all. Look, that is why I've said that we've had these processes 4 times. That is what I can even remember. 4 times. In 2008, we were in power then. We signed. We lost the elections. In 2012, we were in opposition. We lost the elections. In 2016, we were in opposition. In fact, even in 2016, there was another important occasion where even the Otumfuo also put together this wonderful program. He invited all presidential aspirants. And Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, our presidential candidate then, signed. So what happened? What has occasioned this reckless statement from the national chairman of the NDC?
Well, his point is obvious. He says in this interview that a few things, that he alleges illegal partisan recruitments into the service. Those championing the Peace Pact, the Peace Council and others, haven't spoken about it. He mentions the killing of 8 people in the last elections. He says nothing has happened to it. And then the Peace Council and others aren't pushing for justice for those people. And yet, he says, these same agencies are now calling them to sign a peace pact. And that's why they will not sit and not consider it at this point.
Evans, if you want me to begin to list violent-related instances affiliated to the NDC, we will not finish your program. Tripoli is a clear example. So the fact that we've had some pocket of violence here, that warrants the national chairman of the NDC coming out to say that, and indeed, that is the view of the presidential candidate of the NDC. That is the view of former President Mahama. They are only laying a certain foundation to reject the elections because they know they are going to lose. Because what has really happened? Nothing has happened. Yes, we have had some pocket of violence, some pocket of incidents. The police is in charge of that. So because of that, you are saying that you will not sign the peace pact because what? You intend to perpetuate violence. They lie bad. Look, this election is going to be very peaceful. It is going to be very fair. It's going to be credible. And the new patriotic party will win these elections. Look, if Honorable Brian Champon is so confident that his party is going to win the elections, and some people would want to put a certain spin on that statement, it is their own problem. So what? You were expecting Honorable Brian Champon on a campaign platform to say that, look, we are going to lose. And
when he says, he didn't just say we're going to win. He says, quote, so whichever means we'll use to win the 2024 elections, we'll use it. Then it goes, it can go and bend the ocean. That, you say,
if we are going to campaign very hard, if we are going to make sure we apply the right strategies, we are going to make sure that we train our people very well. Every means. Why should your mind even be tilted towards the negative aspect? Why?
Henry, thank you very much. That there is Henry Nanabuachi. He is the MPP national organizer. And I want to hear from you tonight, 02443 024551119997.
Coming through, Charles in Legon says the man who led the Ayawasu violence said it was a dress rehearsal for the 2020 election, and it happened even after the parties signed a peace agreement. Hasn't the Peace Council head Brian Champon and Lord Kome say the NPP will not hand over power even if they lose? That's a question Charles is asking from Legon. Sonny says, why is the Peace Council worried about the NDC's refusal to sign any peace pact? Are they not hearing the president saying he will not hand over power to the NDC? What have they said about that too? BB in North says it is more dangerous when institutions of trust, who we call leaders and are supposed to fight for us, fail to act, and this kills the trust repose in them. Some comments we have on social media. You can also share yours with us, and we'll read them here on Newsnight.
This is your election headquarters. And your election headquarters is always brought to you by Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity. CIMA, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, AICP and CIMA, together as Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, the German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, Top Boss Technologies, a convenient service, Youth Break Foundation, bridging gaps for positive youth development.
Flag bearer John Dramani Mahama is turning up the heat on MPP running mate Dr. Matthew Boku Prempeh, accusing him of arrogance and disrespecting the late former President John Evans Atta Mills. Well, this comes barely 24 hours, Mahama said Dr. Boku Prempeh has questions to answer regarding the Dachi bonds he spearheaded. While speaking during a ceremony and community engagement at Adaklu constituency, John Mahama noted that despite the Asantehini's counsel to the MPP running mate, he continues to disrespect past leaders.
The running mate for MPP, when they went and introduced him to Otumfo, Otumfo said, oh, we brought you up because you are part of the Mensah palace. And we know we brought you up well. But we hear you are arrogant. We hope that you prove people wrong. As soon as he left there, not up to 3 hours, he went and said, Mo Kwame Nkrumah no. That's your Kwame Nkrumah. That is a very disrespectful thing to say about the founder of this nation, and especially a founder who is no longer alive. You can insult me because I can respond because I'm alive. But you don't say, in our tradition, you don't say evil things about the dead. You don't disrespect the dead because they are not alive to respond to you. In the past, ghosts were powerful. As he said that Nkrumah's ghost would have knocked him down. But now, the ghosts have all become disarmed. And he can't hide the arrogance. I was just watching a video yesterday, and he was talking about the past president. He said Rawlings, and he said Kufuor, and somehow he even forgot Professor Mills's name. And then he said, Bakuna Wewuno, that one who died. I mean, how can you talk like this? Very disrespectful, very insulting. Bakuna Wewuno, the one who is dead. Arrogance is like pregnancy. Whatever you do, it will come out.
Well, thankfully, we have Fifi Boafo, his spokesperson for March Opoku Prempeh, who joins us here on Newsnight. Fifi, thank you for your time. Well, this is not the first time the character of the NPP running mate has come into question. This time, John Dramani Mahama is one raising questions about it. How do you respond to it?
Thanks for the opportunity, MFA. But certainly, Mr. Mahama is not the model for temperate language. Is it the same John Mahama who referred to our chimps as their chimps like our boys? Is it the same John Mahama who referred to Martin Amidu, his senior, as stupid? Is it the same John Mahama who called people baloney? Certainly, he is not a model for temperate language. But yes, as human, there may be times you'll get something wrong. That is for you to do an assessment and then realize that what you did was either wrong or right, and you correct your way. Dr. Prempeh said something about our former president. He realized that what he said did not go down well. He issued a statement. Beyond that, the chiefs of Nkrofo came out to say that they wish that he'll come over, apologize in person. He went to Nkrofo, apologized, and said that, well, he did not mean what he said. That is someone who admits that he's human, and when he gets something wrong, he will apologize. Not a person, when he gets something wrong, he will say that the people who are asking questions about what he has said, probably their understanding or their level of education is not the standard of him to appreciate the things he's saying. So certainly, if we're talking about someone who shows respect, someone who is not arrogant, the model obviously is not our former president, John Mahama.
Well, this is coming barely 24 hours after Mahama also said that Opoku Prempeh has questions to answer regarding the Dachi bond, which he spearheaded. Aren't you worried?
Well, it's interesting to realize that the former president, who is a presidential candidate, is rather spending time talking about a running mate instead of talking about the flag bearer or the presidential candidate of the MPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Dr. Bawumia has been vice president in our country. Our former president, John Dramani Mahama, as his vice president. Their record is available for all of us to access. Indeed, former President John Mahama has become president of our country. His performance as president is available for all of us to access. Dr. Bawumia is yet to get the opportunity to be our president. But of course, he has demonstrated what he can do as the vice president, waiting or seeking the opportunity to be president. So if you are now moving and then your attention is rather on the running mate, it is interesting. But for us, it's a welcoming news that he wants us to talk about stewardship in government. Stewardship of Dr. Prempeh as education minister is something we are very much proud of. Yesterday on your network, I shared with listeners what he was able to do as education minister with reference to the Dachi bond, completing over 3,000 projects. Can his running mate also produce evidence of work done to the extent that she was able to complete over 3,000 projects at the Ministry of Education? We are not even talking about SHS and what Dr. Prempeh of course, under the instruction and the direction of the president, was able to achieve with the free SHS policy. Anyone wants us to talk about performance, delivery, the performance of NAPO as Minister of Education, the performance of NAPO as Minister of Energy, is there for all of us to assess. But if we are to talk about persons and how they carry themselves, I wish to repeat, former President John Mahama is not a model for temperate language.
Thank you so much, Fifi Boafo, spokesperson for Marty Opoku Prempeh.
You're still live here on Newsnight. It's on Joy 99.7 FM. Still ahead in the first episode of our Constituency Lens Election Headquarters series. We'll pitch camp in the Ashaiman constituency, where it is a battle for the hearts and minds of constituents. We'll highlight the key issues and hear from the candidates.
What's going to inform my vote in 2024? Maybe I might not even vote because the road in Ashama, I don't know whether we are part of Ghana or not.
George Afe is here, though, with Business. Hello, George.
Hi, Evans. And the Kamina businesses want government to do more to sustain inflation rate decline as soon as to reach that single-digit target. And Quantum Energy refuses foreign ownership claims as it stresses investment in domestic LPG infrastructure to help government implement the cylinder recirculation model. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, Syntax Tanks, and Pepsodent Herbal and Charcoal.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Shout! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom. And my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first point of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Osu Akwaje, or our office near the Osu Stadium. We're also in Tema Community 1, opposite Olam SHF, Kumasi KNUST campus, UCC Cape Coast, and now at the Marina Mall, Airport City. Or call us 0302 764101, 764209, or 762792. Visit our website www.kingdomgh.com.
Yeah. We have a new leader in town. OBRNT. Amanfo. Madam was Sibebre. When him say my baby, maybe more charcoal for whiter teeth. More charcoal. Not only that, maybe lemon. More lemon. Zinc for fresher breath. More zinc. And fluoride for stronger teeth.
Introducing the new President Charcoal packed with more power with a combination of charcoal and lemon for naturally whiter teeth. Grab yours now. This advert is FDA approved.
Join us on this exciting journey as the next chapter begins on Sunday, 18th August 2024, under the distinguished patronage of the chairman of the New Patriotic Party, the flag bearer and presidential candidate, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and his running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. The NPP unveils the bold solutions to today's challenges. Tune in to your favorite TV channel and radio station and join us as we show the path to a brighter tomorrow. All roads lead to Secondary Takoradi on Sunday, August 18th at 1 p.m. It's sick.
The luckiest. Luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah. The luckiest. Luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah.
Doctors,
nurses,
barbers,
drivers,
bouncers,
friends,
teachers,
bankers.
You could be the luckiest. You could be the luckiest. East, west, north, south,
you could be the luckiest. You could be the luckiest.
Accra to Paga.
Let's go. The luckiest. Luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah. The luckiest. Luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah.
Doctors,
nurses,
barbers,
drivers,
bouncers,
friends,
teachers,
bankers. The luckiest. You could be the luckiest.
Confidence matters in insurance. Confidence has doubled. The game changer of insurance is now here in Ghana. Sanlam and Allianz have joined forces to create an unstoppable force. Sanlam Allianz.
That's right. This partnership will give customers 238 years of combined experience, making Sanlam Allianz a titan of insurance in Ghana and Africa. Sanlam Allianz is here to give you the personalized service you deserve and more. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a true definition of confidence. Visit www.gh.sanlamalliance.com. Sanlam Allianz. Live with confidence because you have confidence in us.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, businesses have indicated that a lot more is expected from government to help sustain the recent slowdown in inflation. The rate has dropped consistently from March this year to 20.9% in June, the lowest in 3 years. But some of these firms have argued that some high level of fiscal discipline is still needed to fast-track the process to get us to that single-digit target soon. Mark Bedua-Boaji is Chief Executive of the National Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Inflation in any way is not good for any economy. High inflation affects the private sector, affects consumers, it affects investors. I also think that 20.9 is also relatively high. Looking at the inflation of other countries around us and the fact that we have a target, the central bank inflation target is 8 plus or minus 2. 20.9 for me is also way above the target. So I think that we should work towards bringing it lower, some way, somehow close to the target, because it's assumed that is the optimal inflation rate that will help businesses, that will help consumers and also the economy. So whatever policy that we are putting in place, we've seen signs that is working and we need to work hard. I have said that the way to fight our inflation is not only monetary, it has also the fiscal aspect of it. It's only when we complement these two policies that we'll be able to achieve the needed result.
Mark Bedua-Boaji is Chief Executive of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Now, financial economist Professor Lord Mensah is pushing back on proposals with the Bank of Ghana to move quickly and cut the policy rate. Now, this follows the significant drop in inflation over the past months from March to July this year. The Chamber of Commerce has been leading this charge following these developments and is blaming or pushing ahead to ensure that that could impact on the cost of credit. But Professor Lord Mensah says that we should be careful about what we wish for.
The Bank of Ghana is also being careful. Because this downward trends in inflation that we are witnessing may not be the true reflection of the inflation numbers if we should assume, our debt payment risk ahead, if they should respond, contemporaneously to the inflation, downward trend. The reason why I'm saying this is that, you see, whatever we are talking about when it comes to inflation is mainly driven by exchange rate, stability in exchange rate. And why we see the stability in exchange rate is as a result of our debt suspension. And so if you resume your debt suspension, what happens to these numbers? So, if at the time that, inflation has dropped to a point and Bank of Ghana when it turns up that we resume our debt and inflation start going up, they may have to increase, the policy rate again. So they're also being careful and tactical as to the rate at which they react when inflation drops.
Financial economist Professor Lord Mensah. Now, Quantum, Sage and Arch holders have all refuted assertions that it is a foreign company. They've argued this in a press statement, saying that the Ghanaian is a Ghanaian-owned company that have invested heavily in Ghana's LPG infrastructure to help government implement the cylinder recirculation module. There is more in this report.
Clarifying its ownership structure, Quantum vehemently denied recent media report mischaracterizing it as a foreign entity. The company pointed out that it is a homegrown business with a deep-rooted commitment to the nation and active participation in the government's cylinder recirculation model. It explained that it is a 100% Ghanaian-owned entity, directly employing over 2,000 Ghanaians and have been active in Ghana's petroleum sector since 2009. The company emphasized its vertical integration within the petroleum downstream value chain, a structure permitted by the existing regulatory framework by the National Petroleum Authority. It added that key aspect of its operation is to support the cylinder recirculation model, a government initiative to increase LPG penetration and improve safety.
And that is a Business Desk report. Now, the Ghana Mine Workers Union have raised concerns about the continuous abuse of workers' rights by employers, particularly the foreign companies. Speaking to Joy Business at this first half-year meeting in Accra, General Secretary of the Ghana Mine Workers Union, Mohamed Abdul Ghana, called for a relook of the mining labour market to ensure sustainability and security of the sector.
Workers' rights, terrible. And I have enumerated the fact that today, the right to form and join a union is challenged. And it's challenged primarily because the labor market has practically been decimated. I refer to the fact that from 2017 up until date, and that is the period of the sitting president, businesses have become so fragmented. The production chains have become so fragmented, all in the name of localization or local content. I mean, the asset is yours. You are saying that you want an affirmative action policy targeting your local people when the asset is yours, and for that matter they should depend on the crumbs. We as local entities just should depend on the crumbs. We can't go for the core. Government cannot intervene more robustly to bring on board private people who are Ghanaians to run the sector. All we have to depend on is little contracts down the value chain.
General Secretary of the Ghana Mine Workers Union, Mohamed Abdul Ghana, to the stock market. If you were a shareholder in Bensu Oil Palm Plantation, it was up by 3 pesos today to close at 23 Ghana cedis, 10 pesos. That of Enterprise Group was also up by 10 pesos to close at 1 Ghana cedi, 65 pesos. If you are a shareholder of Unilever Ghana, it was up by 50 pesos to close at 16 Ghana cedis. And that's all for business on Newsnight.
Well, thank you. Time now for sports. Isabel?
Yeah, hello, Fostina. Well, some update from Ghana's team in the CAF Champions League FC Summertex, and they will be put to the test come this weekend as they embark on their first ever CAF Champions League campaign with a clash against Cameroonian champions Victoria United. The Summertex riding high on the euphoria of their maiden Ghana Premier League campaign. Well, Summertex will be facing Cameroon champions Victoria United come this weekend, and they will be hoping to ride on the success from the Ghana Premier League. Now, the match which will be played in Cameroon is expected to be a fiercely contested affair. Well, here is team captain Enoch Boate.
Victoria United, we barely know them. And is playing with a side that you barely know them. It's going to be a difficult task, but then our coaches are working so hard, and then I know our first leg we are going there for good results, which will.
Well, that's team captain Enoch Boatin assuring that they will give their very best and get at least a good result in that first leg. Well, President of the association, Kati Kreku, has backed the team to make Ghana proud.
When you go there, they will say the champions of Ghana. They will never say the champions of Summertex. Never. In fact, Summer Boy will not even come in. They will say Ghana. So you are ambassadors of our dear country. And you go there as proud champions. Your colleagues have done it just a few months ago. It's your turn to go the extra mile to put Ghana back on the map of where we belong. I have no doubt that there's quality in this squad. I'm not in doubt. Neither is anybody in this country, because you are champions. And you truly won the Premier League on merit.
That's Kete Kweko there. Well, FC in Sontraman will also be in action in the CAF Confederations Cup. Well, even as the club football has started in La Liga, and underway is the game between Atletico Bilbao and Getafe. Inaki Williams and his brother Nico Williams are in action, and it's currently 1-1 at halftime.
We're still listening to Newsnight. Let's do some other stories now. Evans, the municipal assemblies in Accra have taken a bold step to slash air pollution emission by 30% by 2030 as the city embraces the Breathe Cities initiative. This ambitious move comes in response to silent menace of air pollution, which claims over 28,000 lives annually in Ghana. Evans, shocking. Well, at an event in Accra, stakeholders unveiled plans to deploy a network of sensors to vigilantly monitor pollution hotspots. Beat reporter Michael Ashali has more in the following report.
In 2019, Ghana saw approximately 23,000 deaths from malaria, 14,000 from HIV/AIDS, and 10,000 from tuberculosis. Alarmingly, air pollution caused even more fatalities, with at least 28,000 deaths that year. Air pollution has become a major concern in Accra.
With high levels of particulate matter, people breathe these things in and it affects their lungs and how the lungs perform.
Factories and waste burning are to blame for a lot of pollutants, but transport, especially the old fleet of trotros, is the biggest single contributor. Ayawaso West Municipal Health Director Dr. Louisa Ademki-Mate explains.
For the past 3 years, in most districts, you will see that respiratory tract infections are high on there.
Dr. Ademki says vulnerable groups tend to suffer the most.
It's just a vicious cycle. Because you don't have the money, now you are getting sicker. It just perpetuates the poverty.
Desmond Apia, country lead of Clean Air Fund, says there's an urgent need for a more comprehensive research.
The outdoor or ambient air quality is getting worse. And so it means something is still not clicking, something is still amiss. There's not a lot of localized research, and that's what we are trying to change in our system.
The city of Accra has now joined the Bridge Cities initiative. It is a first of its kind initiative from Clean Air Fund, C40 Cities, and Bloomberg Philanthropies.
And we hope by the end of the process of the Breathe Accra, we would have been able to reduce the pollution levels by a good 30 or so %, because at the rate that it is going, it is not healthy for any of us.
A network of 60 low-cost sensors and reference-grade monitors have been installed across the city to provide real-time air pollution levels. Adentan is home to some of these sensors. The early data is already making a difference.
Quickly, we deployed people. They realized that there were issues. One had to do with some burning that was taking place. So quickly, action was taken.
Jacob Johnson Atakpa, project coordinator of the Green Africa Youth Organization, GAYO, says they are also making progress with support from Clean Air Fund,
as well as recycling all the recyclables there are in the system to ensure resource efficiency and sustainable production and consumption.
According to the WHO, meeting the air quality guidelines of 10 micrograms per meter cube for PM2.5 could prevent more than 1,000 deaths annually in Greater Accra. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
You're still live, your news night is on Joy 99.7 FM. It also happens to be your election headquarters. I want to take you back into the HQ now.
Election headquarters is brought to you in partnership with Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. CIMA, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, and together, and AC and CMA together as the Association of International Chartered Professional Accountants. Also the German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty. Chopbox Technologies, a convenience service. Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging gaps for positive youth development.
And we're less than 4 months onto the general elections. The race between the parliamentary aspirants across all 275 constituencies of the country is intensifying. Constituents are making demands, expecting candidates to address their concerns In a focus on the Ashaiman constituency, we find residents divided over whether to vote, while both the NPP and NDC aspirants believe they deserve to lead. Here's an excerpt from the first episode of our Constituency Lens election headquarters series on the Ashaiman constituency.
Today we are bringing you a comprehensive overview of the Ashaiman constituency here in the Greater Accra region. This constituency is bedeviled with a number of numerous developmental challenges ranging from deplorable state of roads, health infrastructure, and overpopulation. So the question we are asking residents today is this: what will inform their votes in the upcoming general election?
What's going to inform my vote in 2024? Maybe I might not even vote because the road in Ashama, I don't know whether we are part of Ghana or not.
For so many years now, almost 5 years now, this road, they haven't done anything about it.
Inadequate educational infrastructure across the constituency is a major concern not only for parents but students as well.
Before we come here every morning, the distance from where we are to this place is about, let's say, 3 kilometers. Very far.
Up to now, Ashama, we are not seeing any development for Ashama. As you can see our market here. We are sitting, we are sleeping. The market is not going.
The NPP has a new candidate, an educationist, Justice Kinesal, who comes face to face with the two-term incumbent MP, Ernest Nogbe. The question is, what record are they riding on to get voted?
I have chalked a lot of successes by instituting the MP smoke in the municipality, by engaging both private and then public schools in the MP schools, by donation of teaching and learning materials.
Born and bred in a place like Ashama, we should be concerned about what goes on in Ashama. I went on to lead school owners, having become a proprietor myself within the area through to the Lashibi Michel Camp area, then went on to win elections to become a leader of school owners across the country.
The demand for good roads, a vibrant economy, appreciable social and educational infrastructure, sound healthcare system, among others, are the top issues voters in the Ashaiman constituency would hinge their vote on come December.
Fallout from the Joe News is Ghana Connect Town Hall meeting. It was a battle of wits as the governing NPP and the opposition NDC sought to convince voters to buy in their policy proposals ahead of the 2024 general election. NDC's Mustafa Gbande locked horns with the NPP's Haruna Mohammed as the two debated which party's policy proposition was superior to the other and also responded directly to questions from dozens of voters who thronged the Osu Presby Hall here in Accra. Let's listen to some of the questions put to them by the audience, and then we'll come back to get their response.
What plans do they have for elderly health? And tied to that is the LEAP project has identified what we call indigent. But you realize there is a lot more older people that are not covered by LEAP, either through their health or whatever. The linkage.
Now the leave, if you see the amount that is paid to the elderly or those who are disabled, is minimal. On top of that too, it is being paid 2 months. That is, if we are supposed to be paid August, September, we are not going to get anything unless October. Some are being paid 260, some are being paid 300 and what have you. But my concern is I'm putting to the various parties. What are they going to do, especially the payment?
And I'm sure we all believe that in Ghana we have inadequate health facilities at the community and the national level. And then I understand now home health care is something that is becoming prominent, as well as telemedicine. So I want to find out as political parties, what can they do to regulate home health care and telemedicine?
I would like to know from our gentlemen what the various parties are going to do in terms of health in the area of the numerous chiefs compounds that we have across the country.
Well, Evans, the political parties have been responding to their questions, the NDC Mustafa Gbande and the NPP's Haruna Mohammed.
Initiated the abandonment and abolishment of nurses' allowance. The rationale was so that we can save money, increase the number of nurses that can be trained at a particular time, so that we don't go into, say, the budgetary constraints only can train 1,000 nurses, where we need 2,000 nurses. If we save that allowance, we'll train 2,000 nurses. Every village can have a CHIPS compound. At the same time, what the nurses do is that government gives them a loan whilst they are in school, so that when you start working, you pay back the loan. That was the rationale for that. And it is supposed to make sure that we're able to decentralize healthcare and make it very accessible to the ordinary Ghanaian who are disadvantaged and deprived.
Construction of CHIPS compounds, but the abandonment and non-usage of some of these facilities where essentially workers are inadequate or even non-existent. And then the second part of his question was about lack of refrigerations at these particular centers. CHIPS compounds constructions have never been abandoned, not directly to him, but to correct my brother here, was being developed and open up to communities and villages who hitherto would have to go a longer distance to access healthcare services.
And the Ghana Connect Town Hall, the Citizens Manifesto, was done in partnership with Send Ghana. And that's it for News Night tonight. My name is Mensah.
I'm Fostina Sarfo.